Welcome back to Three's In. Bobo's here. So after our first day of orientation, we had the weekend off. And over that weekend, a lot of us went looking for lodging. And as it turns out, my wife and I stumbled on these apartments called the Gold Talon Apartments, about a mile off base, maybe a mile and a quarter, on Pat Booker Road there in Universal City. And those were great apartments at the time, and they still are today. At the time, we rented a one-bedroom furnished apartment for $165, and on the first floor. You came out the back door, made a left-hand turn, and there was a laundry facilities. And if you went straight on out the back door, you were in the parking garage. You came out the front door, which was through the patio. There was a swimming pool there, so it was a great setup, as it turned out. Now, my folks lived in San Antonio at the time, so we were always up for Meals on Wheels. So we did a little cooking, but more often than not, we were on our way over to mom and dad's, or they were coming over. Mom would drop off something for us, and so we ate pretty well. After that first weekend of getting acclimated to the local area, we showed up first thing Monday morning, probably around 7 o'clock, the flight surgeon's office for a mini physical. They just took our vitals, gave an eye exam, but the thing I remember most about that was a psych exam. Went in and sat down with the flight surgeon, and it's like in my case, walked in, sat down. He was sitting there looking at me, and I was looking at him. He was looking at me, and I was looking at him, and this went on for about 3 minutes or so. Didn't say anything. Finally, he said, "Well," he says, "you're not climbing the walls." He says, "I think you're going to do fine." And that was it. Okay, good. But that first physical, actually the first event we engaged in there, we lost one of our classmates there, and I can't remember why, but it was something they detected on the physical, and I remember that because he was one of the guys that was sitting next to me when Booger said, take a look at that guy sitting to the left of you. Come next year, he won't be here. And I'm going, oh, crap. He was already gone. So anyway, after our physical, we all mustered out on the PT field for an orientation there. And what it was they had us report for PT in white sneakers, white socks, white shorts, and white shirts, T-shirts. Or you could wear white T-shirts, white shorts, white socks, and white sneakers. Either way. And first 6 weeks were intense physical training to get us acclimated to or conditioned for G-forces. So part of that was strengthening our legs and our upper bodies. So they'd have these weights that we would wear, these ankle weights. I think they were 3-pound, maybe 2-pound ankle weights. And then the chest weights were 10 pounds. So they started us out on the ankle weights for about 2 weeks, and then we graduated to the chest weights. And I'm telling you, in San Antonio in the summer, in the mornings it wasn't too bad, but boy, in the afternoons, that was really a challenge. And but that's just the way it was that first 6 weeks. Those first 6 weeks are significant because that's the time we spent in T-41s. After that, we went to T-37s. And once we got into T-37s, they loosened the physical training up quite a bit. We still had to do calisthenics, but nowhere near what we had to do those first 6 weeks. Also, the first 6 weeks, we had calisthenics every day. If I remember right, probably the better part of 4 to 5 days a week for sure. The calisthenics was divided, or the PT was divided into two sections. First was calisthenics for about 20 minutes just to loosen up, and then the second part of that was a 1.5 mile run. And then about 3 weeks into this program, they put us into the obstacle course they had set up out there for us, and that was just a real joy. All kinds of ropes and boards and tires and all other kinds of torture devices. But I enjoyed it. I didn't see anything wrong with it. Matter of fact, I kind of had fun with it. The guy that led our section in calisthenics was a guy named Ken Lampkin. And boy, was he a great guy. Just an easygoing East Texas guy. I think he had played football at Texas A&M. And that's how he got the job of leading us through calisthenics. But he was, like I said, he was just so laid back. And one of the things you notice about Ken Lampkin when you first meet him is how proud he is of his wife. He just, he was so proud of her. He would tell us, guys, I can't wait for you to meet my wife. He says, her name is Merle. She's my Merly Pearly, my girlie from Early. Yeah, she was from Early, Texas. But God, I tell you what, he'd say that and we'd hear him say it. We'd just start laughing. Another thing that I want to tell you about PT as we were going through, and this occurred a few weeks down the road, but it fits in here very nice. They were hard over on us wearing white shorts and white shirts and white socks and white sneakers. Well, it's one day one of our bachelors couldn't find his gym shorts. Oh, God, he was in a pickle. So he was looking around for me. Well, worse than not wearing white gym shorts was not showing up on time. So he looked over, and he's in a panic now. He takes his laundry sack. He cuts 2 holes in his laundry sack in the bottom of it, puts it on with the legs going through each hole, and then shows up at PT. It was hard to do calisthenics watching him up there in his laundry sack. Well, wouldn't you know it, Boomer, John McBroom, drives by and sees him out there in that. I mean, he could spot it. It wasn't too obvious. So he pulls over, and oh Christ, we're all standing there in a brace, and he's just going nuts with this guy standing there wearing his laundry sack. It's still funny today. At any rate, I loved PT for the discipline it gave me throughout the rest of my Air Force career. And I'm grateful for that. I'm just grateful for it. And I always tried to stay in shape because of the stresses put on us by flying, whether it be flying long hours, long stretches across the world, or flying short flights with high G's on them. It just made sense for me to stay in shape. And so that really laid a good foundation for me. So that being said, we're going to be off to the flight line here tomorrow, and beginning in T-41s. So hope you enjoy the day. This is Bobo. Basic Gear. Stop.